why I pull these kind of texts, because it's more that like advanced academic language. What else?
Restless in the midst of advance. Restless in the midst of advance.
Yes, let me find
Abundance.
it. Restless in the midst of abundance. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Restless means to be like not content. Be looking for something more. So it can be, right, a child is fidgety and moving all around, right? They're trying to sit still at school and they just can't, and they're like kind of jumping around in their seat. That's restless, right? They cannot rest. They do not have rest. So it can be like this physical representation. It can also be like inside, right? Of like, you just feel kind of antsy inside and you don't feel rested or peaceful. You feel restless, like you need to look for something. And people talk about this a lot in American culture anyways. I don't know if you guys talk about this, of like college students be like, I'm just restless. Like I need to find a new job, or I need to find a new hobby, or I need to move to a new place. People talk about being restless quite a bit. Like this chapter sort of makes fun of Americans and sort of stereotypical, but also is sort of true. Anyways, so restless in the midst of abundance, in the middle, and yet you have all these things, abundance. We are so blessed in the United States, right? We should want for nothing. We should have all the peace in the world. And so why are American citizens restless or looking for something else to fulfill them, right? And so that's what it's saying, that you're not content or you don't have peace in the midst of abundance, in the midst of everything you could possibly want. Abundance means that you have more than you need. Emily. Sorry, I'll come back to you again.
As the original source of the secret inquietude meanings, I want to know.
Yes, so inquietude is not a word I think I've ever heard of before. It reminds me of the word solitude, but based on context, I'm going to assume inquietude means the same type of thing as restless, meaning not peaceful, not quiet in your spirit, not having an attitude of peace and rest and quiet. But let me look up a definition to make sure I'm correct. This is not a word you're going to hear very often in English, but obviously it is an academic language. So yes, it says physical or mental restlessness or disturbance. So, right, not having that attitude of rest or peace or quiet. And secret just meaning that it's like inner, it's inside of you, rather than like being able to see a child fidgeting around. It's that it's inside of you, you're not like talking about it or you can't see it. Okay, Hannah, you had a question still.
MIDST. What is the exact meaning? Yeah, I also.
This one, midst. Yeah. It means middle.
Oh, middle.
Yeah. So you could say in the midst of the storm, in the middle of the storm. I think it's probably not super common. It's more academic language, Old English. Growing up, I read a Bible that's written in very Old English. And so midst is a very common word in my world. But probably the average American, average English speaker doesn't use the word midst very much. But I have heard it in like the midst of the storm, the middle of the storm. So it just means the middle. Anything else? One thing I wanted to point out in this paragraph up here, felicity is another one of those words that was very common, because this was written a while ago, right? Back then, not as common now. It just means like happiness. I have heard it before. It's not totally foreign. It's just not super common. All right, anything else in this paragraph? Okay, let's go to the last one. Says, he who has set his heart exclusively upon the pursuit of worldly welfare is always in a hurry, for he has but a limited time at his disposal to reach it, to grasp it, and to enjoy it. The recollection of the brevity of life is a constant spur to him. Besides the good things which he possesses, he every instant fancies 1,000 others, which death will prevent him from trying, if he does not try them soon. This thought fills him with anxiety, fear, and regret, and keeps his mind in ceaseless trepidation, which leads him perpetually to change his plans and his abode. Excuse me. What questions do you have in this paragraph?
What is the meaning of ceaseless trepidation?
Ceaseless means to never end, is always there, it's constant, it does not cease. Cease means to stop, so it does not stop. Trepidation means fear, anxiety, and it has this sense of like to move with fear or be unable to move because of fear. So it keeps his mind in ceaseless trepidation, in unending fear, anxiety, regret. Trepidation, I wouldn't say is terribly common, but people do use it to say, I have trepidation about, I don't know, flying. If people are scared of flying, I don't know.
Teachers, what is the meaning of welfare? The second line.
Welfare, that means like how you're doing. A better way to describe. Welfare. Like, right, well means good, and well, like, I don't know. Let me look up a definition. I'm sorry, you guys. My brain's not working really well. It just like, it means like that you're doing well. Like in the pursuit of worldly welfare, meaning that like you're trying to have good things in life. You're trying to live a good life, that you do well in life, that you have a good life. That's like, but maybe I'm sure there's a better definition than that. But when like people use it, well, actually, there's another definition. So in the United States, our government provides money for people like who don't earn enough income. And so that's called welfare. And basically the government provides those people with money so that they can live. And so people talk about welfare a lot in the United States, but that's what they're referring to. So most of the time, if you were here and you heard the word welfare, they would be talking about the government assistance program that gives money to people who don't have enough. But in this context, it's not talking about that. It just means like health, happiness, good fortune. So it's just like that you're doing well, that you have a good life.
So teacher, this sentence, first sentence and second sentence, it does mean he was pursuing the good thing in his life. It does mean like that.
Yep.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you. Yeah, good. Excellent. Any others? Yes, name me out.
Yeah, the recollection of the brevity of life
Yes.
is a constant spur to him. Yes.
So recollection means to remember, to recollect, to collect again, to remember. Brevity means like short, fast. Brief is another term for it, right? A brief speech, that the brevity of the speech, right, is very short. So brevity of life, that in the grand scheme of things, life is very short. So remembering that life is very short is a constant spur to him. In this context, spur means to like a push. It's a constant reminder. It's a constant push for him to continue to try and find those good things, to try and find happiness, to try and live a good life. So remembering that life is short is a constant reminder, a constant push, a constant spur for him to try and live a good life. or find good things in life. Spur can also mean in like Western cowboy world of the South in the United States. It's like a little sharp object on the back of cowboy boots that cowboys use to like gently press into the horse's side and make the horse move, gallop, whatever. So, but that's not what this context is saying. Are there any others?
Teacher, last line.
Yes.
Lost what?
Abode
Yeah.
means this house. To abide means to live or to dwell. And so abode means house. Most common, you're going to use home, house, that type of stuff. But abode is just his house. Okay, we'll go ahead and pause there. I'll stop sharing my screen. Thank you for your patience with me today. Hopefully I get better from my cold soon, and then I'll try and be more on top of it. But I appreciate getting to learn with you. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you. Shout out to David and his wonderful help as my brain would not work. So I appreciate you guys. We'll go ahead and end with scripture and pray and be dismissed. Today, I'm going to read Psalm 23. I've read this several times, I think. I don't know if I've read it for this class yet. I love this chapter in the Bible. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This psalm is so beautiful because we can turn to God for anything, and he protects us in the good and in the bad. He's a comfort. His goodness and his mercy will always be with us. Let's go ahead and pray. Dear Lord, I thank you for our time together. God, I thank you that you are our good shepherd who's made a way for us to come and be with you, that you're with us, whether it's good or whether it's bad, that you bring goodness, you bring mercy, that you make everything work together for good for those that love you and who are called according to your purpose. Jesus, I pray that you would touch each one of these students, that they'd know your goodness, they'd know your mercy, that they dwell in your presence, Jesus. I pray that you'd help them in their language learning, God, that they